So one thing people might want to ask is it really possible to be free? Right? Is it really possible to be free? I remember once giving a talk to a bunch of men, and I was speaking in reference to another Catholic man who had been talking to me about how he had surpassed maybe his third year of complete chastity and being free from pornography and masturbation. And I remember saying that he was sober for about 3 years, and somebody raised their hand and they were like, "Wait, Father, what do you mean by that?" That he's been free from pornography and masturbation for about 3 years, and this man just kind of looked at me and he said, "That's possible? That's possible? Nobody ever told me that was possible before." And that statement, like, there's a sadness in that, but there also is a bit of an explanation for how or why sometimes we stay stuck, and sometimes we stay stuck because of the fact that nobody's actually ever said to us it's possible for you to be free. And that possibility, or the hope that we can live in freedom, it's really rooted in two core beliefs, and those core beliefs are beliefs that Jesus is in fact a real person, and that everything that he says is true. Right. And so sometimes when people ask me, like, "Father, why do you talk about these hard topics that you talk about?" And I talk about them because I believe Jesus is real and that everything that he says is true. So it's true that we can be free. And maybe one of the most important things he says that's true is, "I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly." I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And that he came so that we can live the abundant life. And so that starting point of freedom really comes from asking ourselves the question, do I believe freedom is possible? And if I don't believe freedom is possible, well, then I need to go back and reflect more on, okay, I know I believe Jesus is real, and I believe everything that he says is true, and he says it's possible to be free. He calls me to be free. When he says in Matthew's gospel, "Whoever looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart," it implies that it's possible to not look with lust, and it's possible to live in pure of heart, and to experience the fullness of that sixth beatitude: "Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God." And so when we think about that question of, or that quote from Jesus, "I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly," one of the questions that we have to ask ourselves, like at the very beginning of recovery, is, do you want to live? Right? Do you want to live? And do you want to live is a really important question, because sometimes we kind of go through life without really living it. And in working with people who have addictions, and whether that was in being stuck in pornography in the past, or being stuck in binge watching shows on Netflix, or being stuck on endlessly scrolling through Twitter, or being stuck on looking for that next podcast episode, or seeking out the next distraction. I just want to check out of life for about the next hour or so, or I just want to check out of life for the next 3 hours. And when we fall into an addiction, it's really as if, for many people, it's as if I want to step into not existing for a while. Like, no, I just don't want to exist for a while. And that's manifested when people lose track of time, or they start to do a behavior, or maybe they tell themselves, "I'm just going to do this for about 10 minutes, and it turns into 100 minutes, or it turns into 200 minutes. And the next thing we know, it's like 3 a.m. And we're kind of stuck. And that can come from many different places. It can come from just an attachment to a spirit of death. It can come from just not wanting to face life, or life's been hard for a long time and I don't want to face my difficult emotional experiences. Just whatever it is. And so if we really desire freedom, then we have to foster that desire in our own hearts. And And I remember having this, very simple experience where I went to a friend and he was praying over me, and as he was praying over me, he started just to speak a lot of words of just kind of words of knowledge with regard to like sickness or a lack of health or heart disease. And I was just thinking to myself, like, whoa, what are you talking about? And as I was driving home, it dawned on me that, yeah, there's lots of ways that I don't take care of myself, or I don't take care of my health, and I neglect the needs that I have. And so I just started every single day, like just reaffirming and praying for the desire to live my life and to live my life abundantly. And and so that can also be a good starting point for anyone who's just stuck in life, or maybe we're stuck in an addiction or an attachment, an unhealthy attachment, is like, Jesus, give me the desire to live, right? And to live the abundant life that you promised, because I believe you're real and everything that you say is true.